All right, let's get going. Who wants to go, or I can go first if nobody wants to.
I'll go first since
Go
my
ahead,
internet
Christian.
connection is nearly useless. As long as you guys can hear me okay. So I my pull request feedback. I'm incorporating feedback.
Yeah, and I think we lost you, Christian, just when you started with feedback on your PR. Okay, who wants to go next? Let's let Christian come back. He's gone.
Christian has his pull request for the
I'm
block.
calling.
Hey, Christian, I think Chris is filling in for you. So if you disagree, then say something. If not, let Chris say.
So he has a pull request against his own fork for the blockchain API, and Shufei and I are reviewing it, and he answered some of the comments and he's working on it. So hopefully soon that'll be done internally, and then we can open up a PR against the main repo.
Okay. Okay, since you're talking, Chris, can you continue on your side?
I've been doing a ton of different things in the background. I have several pull requests open. I got the documentation on the main repo. I don't remember what else. Some project board automation, but that's blocked. I also improved the CI workflow. I wasn't able to do everything that I wanted to because there's other pull requests from Steve Taylor that are open. So Steve Taylor is removing the synapse portion of the build. So, and I improved it. So the feedback time is going to be cut in half. So instead of taking 7 minutes to know if your PR passes, it's going to take 3 minutes to tell you if it failed.
Nice.
And that's a good start. The total time is the same, but the feedback loop is much smaller. And I think that's the most important part.
Yeah.
I also opened up a PR for the blockchain. I noticed he was still doing.
I'm back, guys.
Christian.
Yeah.
There's a lot of background noise coming from your mic. Thank you. I also did some refactoring in the blockchain work. I started integrating the Aleph consensus into the current sample code that we have, and I will open up a PR later for that. I've also been playing with the new GitHub project boards. So the one you're looking at is the older version, and they have a new one with a lot more features that they've been actively developing. And I've been playing around with that, seeing what it looks like and how it works. So I'll probably share that next week if I get anywhere with it.
Yeah. So let me know how that works, because we started with the beta version of what you might be looking at, and that was terrible. And then we moved back to this one. But if that is now mature, we can move to that view.
They're actively developing, right? So like this one is never going to get any new features, and it's really limited on what it can do. But the new one, you can add like custom fields and attributes to actually filter. Like you can add a priority to your stories. And I think it's a lot easier to manage than this with the order that constantly moves, because the automated tools aren't smart enough to sort them.
Yeah. Is there a migration path? Because otherwise we are stuck.
It's pretty easy. They have a script that you can use to copy and change the project on everything. So it shouldn't be too difficult, but I'm just playing around, seeing because I saw they added a lot new features in the last 2 weeks. So I'm just playing with it.
Okay. Shufei, any more?
Yeah. Yesterday, I reviewed the code to read the edify the document and to implement the network behavior. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah.
Hey, Christian, and Shufei. I have a what do you call an issue that I'm not able to spend enough time in writing the tickets from the path to MVP discussion. Can I ask the three of you to volunteer and sort of write them down in GitHub issues? And you probably know much more details from what is there. And when you are done, can you let me know, and then I can also rearrange stuff on the Lucid chart. I have not been able to spend time in the last 2 days, but we need to get that out.
We have a daily meeting between the three of us, Chris and Shufei. Maybe tomorrow we just sit and hammer that out.
Yeah.
I can
I think
even
that
play
I would
secretary.
appreciate it. Yeah. And there are some missing tickets
Does that
anyway.
work
We
for you,
said,
Chris?
okay.
I'm
Does
just
that work for
confirming
you?
that works for Chris.
Yeah. Sorry. Chris, are you able to hear?
Okay. I'm just.
Christian? Yeah.
I'm going to assume the answer is yes.
Yeah, Christian, there's a lot of background noise coming from you, so it's very
No.
difficult to hear what's going on.
Christian asked that when you meet tomorrow, can you?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
We'll deal with it. Well, thank you for sacrificing us. We will do the work.
You're welcome. So when I was not spending time on converting those tickets, I can give my status. Thank you for the feedback on the 2 PRs that I had. One was a draft one, and it was half baked, but I wanted to make sure that the direction is correct. So I'm removing the duplicate code, and I'll send a real PR so that it is open for review. The other one that I sent about cargo make, Chris, thank you for looking into the vulnerabilities. I'm assessing them. I think we might. I'll basically record what I understand about the vulnerabilities, and then we can make a decision whether we can use this library or not, or there's a different direction to go. But there are a couple which I did not add, so we'll see how they came about, and then we can go from there. But that's what I was
challenge. The challenge with adding a humongous tool like Cargo Make is that it has like 600 dependencies, and when you add 600 dependencies, the dependencies may not always be up to date, and it's a wild mess, right? So
it's a wild mess, yeah. I'll take a look. I mean, I'll assess that and see if there is an alternative. Maybe I can ask the Cargo Make people why they need 300 things. Anyway, so that's me. I was working on those PRs. Johan, you unmuted. You want to say something?
Yeah, I can continue. Now that I still remember what I did, I've been exploring the DHT and finding the nearest node. I'm reading about the algorithms like minimum k distance and so. So it's interesting. I won't go in detail until it's ready. I'm waiting for doing anything PR related about it, because we first need to finish PR 375 from Yuri. So there, Elliot already approved it. Yeah, there was some discussion about where if cleanup of code should be done in existing PRs or in new ones. I'm okay with both. I mean, ideally, we do clean up in separate PRs, but I'm very okay that Elliot fixed a few things here. The only remaining questions I have about this PR is that there's a red cross on the code conf patch, so not enough testing. But this is a hard thing to test. Well, the networking is hard to test in sort of unit tests. So, but then Erwin, you can continue. Is working on some integration tests. But what do we do if we? I mean, we can obviously. It's easy to write dummy code that does some tests, but.
Yeah, the red cross on the code conf patch is not blocking the pull request. That's one thing. And to continue about well, two things actually. So yes, we had this integration test issue that was not yet finished, and we can now include the peer-to-peer in it as well. So that is what I was continuing. And then one other thing, because I think that is one of the more important things that we still need to cover. And then one other thing, Chris pointed me to Docker verified publishers, and I think it was because of an issue Abhijit created.
Yeah,
yeah, about trust. And actually, it's a very interesting thing. So I on the hint of Chris, I talked to Chris Krohn about it. But unfortunately, Docker doesn't have an API for this yet. But it was just like a couple of minutes ago, so I will write a comment with what I can still remember. And I think it's an interesting topic because we will have to do something, because we decided last week, I think, that we will not cover every image that is in Docker Hub, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so that will be an interesting task as well.
Is that an open issue about that, meaning that this thing needs to be addressed?
It's the
Well,
first issue. Issue
Sorry?
394 is open, I guess.
Is this one?
Yeah,
This one?
that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think there's also a card that you created, Sandra, about more general things, creating issues about this trust thing.
Yes, in the path to MVP. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So as tickets get added here, I'll reconcile both of them so that both of them look similar, the lucid chart and this, because yeah, I just can think more visually instead of this weird view that GitHub gives us.
Yeah, it's now labeled as an enhancement because, but I think it's really like necessary for MVP.
Yeah.
The trust thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Elliot, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go real quick. So I spent a lot of time, and as much as I had any time because of meetings, on Yuri's PR, but I was able to approve it. Nothing. Yeah. I just want to call out because there's only one other person who's I think currently reviewing, which is you, Sudendra. But if anybody else wants to take a look, let me know. There are a couple of things you just need to be wary of, especially if you already have a Persian node running.
Yeah.
just be wary.
Yeah.
Please put those comments on GitHub. Put those comments on GitHub so they're recorded somewhere, please.
The directions are actually really clear. You just have to pay attention to the port numbers, is all I'm saying. And the directions he gave you.
Yeah, it might be good to create some follow-up issues for things that are well. The thing with Yuri's pull requests, typically they work exactly as described. But the word exactly is important.
Yeah. That I just want to be very, very clear. He made some assumptions that when you're going to notice that you're using 7889 for a reason. Just be aware.
Yeah. No, that's good. Mitali?
Yeah. So I have finished the work for the CLI that I was doing for all the refactoring, and I've also tried to include the test cases since it wasn't there for that module. And I am in the process of reviewing Yuri's PR, and I have some comments for the README, and I think there are some of the steps that we can skip while running the nodes where he's creating, temp directories and everything, and just we can mention the Pyrsia artifact path, and the code itself does that for us. So we can, for one node, we can define different path, and for other, it defines others. So it will be completely different. And yeah, and I think my next task is actually to refactor Artifact Manager.
Okay. Abhijit, you have an update?
Yep. So I came up with the verification system issue. I'd be interacting with Irvin, if I'm not wrong, after the meeting whenever it permits. And I reached out to Mitali about the CLI because there were warnings here and there, but she told there will be a PR today. And apart from that, it's a lot of distributed work. It's not something on one flow. So yeah, that's how it is.
Okay. Mark, last but not the least, are you starting on things? Do you have questions?
I have one question. I was looking for a high-level architecture diagram for what you guys are doing. I don't know if you have that. I started hitting the GitHub. I'm getting ready to pull and start the processes for this. I know that you and I should sit down tomorrow, probably. So if you want to put something on the calendar, I can sit down and start looking at potentially doing some of these ticket work.
Yeah, and I can give you a rough idea of what the architecture looks like. We don't have anything. We have something.
We have a high level. A high level one when we started. I created one, but I think it's a documentation repository.
Yeah, it's in the documentation repository, and I can share that with you. But it is high level and probably is now outdated or things have changed.
Is the documentation repo part of the main repo for the code, or is it something else?
I think so. Okay,
something else.
It's something else. So we started.
All right, yeah. So send me the link for that, and maybe I just browse that.
Yeah, I'll share with you. There is some context. We started that as a scratch pad, and we were shy to share it with the general public. And so that doesn't, like, we have not used that documentation repo since then. We are putting things more in the public repositories. But I'll share that with you, and then you can feel free to criticize the way we did it.
Actually, that's a fair point. Shouldn't we create a documentation portion of the website?
There is.
Okay, good.
Effort there. Yeah.
Well, we should probably give it some more love. It's more what I meant.
I've been working on writing the content, and I have content for the technology, but not necessarily the architecture. And one of the things that the team is going to get challenged, and I'm going to assign people to do, is write documentation about like the overview for developers, because that's absolutely missing from what we have.
Yeah, that is, and that's and as new people join this, or start looking at this project, that's going to become important. Okay. Any other? So Mark, I'll ping you on Slack, and we can pick a time that works.
I'd love to have everyone's input on the verification system, because
This one.
Yeah, on issue 394. It'd be great if everyone can give their feedback about it, because we'll have a more, robust idea about it.
No, that's good. Thank you for putting effort in this. So can we all read about this, and maybe Erwin, once you have those thoughts, can you add them to maybe this ticket, or did you?
That was my plan. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will do it right away.
And then Abhijit, the process we follow usually is anything that you create new will be marked as triage. So which means that the team has not discussed it yet and understands it or doesn't understand it yet, and then we'll take it up. Like if it becomes pertinent, like you brought it up, we'll talk about it then, or take it up when we are ready to do the sprint planning, and we do every 2 weeks a sprint planning. Okay, so and things might become important even when we are not near the sprint planning day. So it's not out of line just to talk about random new things that we came up with. Okay, is there nothing else? Then we can call it a stand-up.
I have one last thing. I'm looking at the board. I see a ton of like closed pull requests and issues that are in progress and review. I will probably be bothering you to find out what the status of these things are and removing them and cleaning them up, because it's quite a lot of noise going on in there. So if I bother you, I apologize, but just please let me know.
The one I just saw on my name, I don't understand why it's there.
It's a draft. It says it's a draft pull request.
It was a draft and then it was closed. So
how? Yeah, I didn't understand.
Okay, I just need to delete it then, or do I just delete it? What do I do?
So
yeah, you can close it, but close should remove it, right, from in progress.
No. So like, here's actually a great question. So when a pull request is closed, what assumptions should the project automation make? Because currently there's no rule to handle it, and I wanted to go through and figure out what these were to figure out how I can automate cleaning it up.
Okay, so sorry, I just wanted to clarify, because that one in particular was my own mess up, and I closed it and created another one, and that already got merged. So it literally just needs to be deleted.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no delete, but there's remove from the project. And I think that's the easiest way for you to do it yourself.
Can it not move to done?
Well, no, whatever. It's not a real thing. It's a shadow.
Yeah, so usually when there's closed pull requests, it's because there was either a mistake or it was a temporary thing that we don't care about. And that's my gut feeling and my assumption, but there's a great question behind that. So I think the easy answer is to just remove them from the project, and they'll always be in the Git history. So I'd really discourage like creating new pull requests. I would rather like see people update them. But in this case, I think just remove from project is going to be the easy answer for you, Elliot, in that case.
Okay. Okay. So that's removed. Is that the only one, or there's more?
There's like 3 on the screen.
Okay.
I only made that
job, I don't know.
particular mistake once, so thank you.
That's okay. You're not the first and you won't be the last. So
Yeah. Okay.
there's something on my end there to automate this.
Okay. I don't see the others, but maybe you see them.
The pull request icon's in red. So if you look in the review column, it's the third one on the list. And it's your PR. It's adds to you just scrolled. You shouldn't have
Oh,
scrolled.
sorry.
Go back down, keep going here a little more.
Yeah, I closed that PR too. So
Yes,
this one?
yeah. So closing PRs and making new PRs is probably not the most clean way of organizing a project, right? So I'd rather you update.
I
the
don't know
code.
about that. I mean, I think that is
Yeah, just remove it from the project. There's
okay.
no.
I can remove it. I mean, I created this PR which was against the wrong branch, and I didn't want it to go as it is, so I created a new one. Close this one.
Well, you can always just update your branch, right? You didn't have to make a new branch and a new pull request. It's just.
Okay.
But details.
Yeah. Okay.
Lipstick on a pig on that one.
Yeah, I thought that was the easiest thing for me to cleanly do it. So
Yeah, and mine
okay.
was I got nervous because I was pairing with Frat.
Okay. Okay. Anything else? Any other topic?
Did Matali get a chance to?
Yeah, she shared.
Okay,
She shared. She's working on refactoring Artifact Manager next.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
totally right. I remembered that I thought you were calling on her when I mentioned I could go. All right, thanks.
All right. All right. See you all. Bye.
Talk soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.